Hello friends, this is CA Priyanka Vadhera from the team of Corporate India Consultants. Today we are going to discuss the incorporation process of one-person company OPC as per Companies Act 2013. But before we get into this, we must have an understanding that what the one-person company is all about. As per the Companies Act 2013, Section 2, subsection 62 defines OPC as a company which has only one person as a member. That is, only one member is required to incorporate OPC. OPC is a separate legal entity from its members and it offers limited liability protection to its shareholders and is easy to incorporate. Every OPC must nominate a nominee director in the MOA or AOA who will become the owner of the OPC in case the promoter director is disabled. In case the paid up share capital of OPC exceeds 50 lakh rupees or its average annual turnover of immediately preceding 3 consecutive financial years exceeds rupees 2 crores, then the OPC must be converted into a private limited company. Now, what is the process of incorporation of OPC? That is, these are the steps which are required for the incorporation of OPC. Firstly, you have to obtain DSC, Digital Signature Certificate. Secondly, you have to obtain DIN, Director Identification Number, and then you have to apply for reservation of name in Form INC 1 with the MCA portal, and then nominee consent is required. Then e-filing of MOA and AOA is to be done, and then finally Form INC 32 SPICE and INC 22 is to be filed with the MCA, and finally registration certificate is granted. Now, what are the documents required for incorporation of OPC? That is, these are the requirements for the incorporation of OPC. First, proof of identity of the member and the nominee. Residential proof of the member and the nominee. Copy of PAN card of member and nominee. Copies of the utility bills, that is, proof of evidence of any utility service like telephone, electricity, gas, etc., depicting the address of the premises not older than 2 months is required to be attached. Proof that the company is permitted to use the address of the registered office of the company if the same is owned by the director or any other entity or person, that is, not taken on lease by the company. List of all the companies specifying their SIN having the same registered office address if any. Proof of registered office address, that is conveyance, lease deed, rent agreement along with the rent receipts. Now the first step is to obtain the digital signature certificate. Digital signature certificate, DSC. It is the first step for the company incorporation to get the DSC of the director. The Information Technology Act 2000 provides for use of digital signatures on the documents submitted in electronic form in order to ensure the security and authenticity of the documents filed electronically. This is the only secure and authentic way that a document can be submitted electronically. As such, all filings done by the companies under MCA 21 e-governance program are required to be filed with the use of digital signatures by the person authorized to sign the documents. The second step is to obtain DIN, that is Director Identification Number. The sole shareholder or director should get Director Identification Number from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. For obtaining DIN, An application in form number DIR3 should be filed on MCA portal. Form number DIR3 must be accompanied by self-attested copy of PAN, proof of identity and a proof of address, and one recent passport size color photograph of the applicant. Now before we go to the next step, I want you to see form number DIR3 that is to be filed with the MCA portal. Now you can see on the screen form number DIR3, that is application for allotment of director identification number. You can see the fields which are required to be filled. Applicant's name, photograph of the applicant has to be attached here, father's name, whether a citizen of India, nationality, occupation type, educational qualification, date of birth, gender, these all are to be filled. Here you have to fill your income tax PAN number and it will be verified at the MCA portal. Here you have to mention the permanent residential address, complete address you have to mention here. And these are the attachments which you are required to attach in form DIR3, that is proof of identity of applicant, proof of residence of applicant, and optional document. This form is to be digitally signed by the applicant. It is to be digitally signed by a chartered accountant, company secretary or a cost accountant in practice. Here it is to be signed. Membership number is to be specified here. This is the form which you have to file for getting the director identification number. Now the next step is name approval. Name approval has to be obtained from the registrar of companies by submitting an application in form number INC1. The applicant can give maximum 6 names in order of preference. The name once approved by the authority is valid for 60 days. The promoter or subscriber to the memorandum and articles of association shall be the applicant for the availability of name application. Name approval generally takes 1 to 2 business days. The proposed names for the company given in form INC1 shall end with OPC Private Limited or Private Limited OPC. You can see form number INC1, application for reservation of name. This is to be filed at the MCA portal. These are the fields which are to be filled. Application for incorporating a new company, you have to click here or here, whatever your company is. Secondly, you have to fill the details of the applicant DIN. You have to fill your DIN here, which you have obtained from the previous step, and then click on the pre-fill. All the details of the director, that is the applicant, will be pre-filled here. Type of company, state class of proposed company, category of proposed company, name of the state, union territory in which the proposed company is to be registered. You have to fill here. Name of the office of registrar of companies. Details of the promoters, that how many promoters or directors are there in your company. Here you have to fill the DIN of the promoter and and then click on pre-fill. The details will be pre-filled here. Here you have to mention the objects of proposed company to be included in its MOA. Proposed directors' particulars are to be filled here. In part B, particulars about the proposed name. The proposed name, as I've told you, that maximum 6 names can be filled here in form INC1. Here you have to mention the proposed name, and then the significance of key or coined word in the proposed name. You have to explain the meaning of any key or coined word in the proposed name. Whether the proposed name is in resemblance with any class of Trademarks Rules 2002. You can see these are the fields which are going to be filled. Part D, reservation of name for change of name by an existing company. In this form, optional attachments are required. That is, it is up to you. If you want to attach any attachment, then you can attach. Otherwise, there is no requirement. It is to be digitally signed by the director. This is all about this form. Now, after the name approval, the next step is nominee consent. The subscriber to the memorandum of an OPC shall nominate a person after obtaining prior written consent of such person, who shall, in the event of subscriber's death or his incapacity to contract, become the member of the company. Consent of such nominee shall be obtained in form number INC3 and shall be attached in form number INC32 SPICE. Form INC3 shall be physically signed by the nominee. Now you can see on the screen form number INC3, nominee consent form. Here you have to mention the SRN of form INC1, which will be generated at the MCA portal after filing of form INC1. Then you have to click on pre-fill and all the details of the company will be pre-filled. Particulars of the nominee. Director identification number of the nominee is to be filled here and then click on pre-fill. Permanent account number of the nominee is to be filled here and then verify details. All the particulars of nominee are to be filled here in form INC3. Permanent residential address of the nominee, present address of the nominee. You can see it is to be physically signed by the nominee. That is, this form is not to be digitally signed. It is to be physically signed by the nominee. Enclosures. These are the attachments which are required. PAN card of the nominee, proof of identity of the nominee and residential proof. These are to be attached here. The next step is e-filing of memorandum and articles of association at the MCA portal. After ascertaining name availability from the registrar of companies in form number INC1, The Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association of the company are to be filed at MCA portal by filling SRN or Form INC1 in the required forms. Form INC 33 SPICE MOA and Form INC 34 SPICE AOA are to be filed. The witness shall be a practicing professional, that is, practicing company secretary or practicing cost and management accountant or practicing chartered accountant. In Form INC 33 SPICE MOA, these are the tables which are included. Table A, if the company is limited by shares, then you have to fill the details in Table A. If the company is limited by guarantee and not having share capital, then Table Table B is to be filled. Table C, when the company is limited by guarantee and having share capital. Table D, unlimited company and not having share capital. Table E, unlimited company and having share capital. Now you can see on the screen form number INC 33 SPICE MOA. SRN of form INC 1 has to be filled here, and then you have to click on pre-fill. As discussed just now, table A, B, C, D, E are to be filled as per the requirement of the company. You can see, if we opt for table A, if our company is limited by shares, then what are the requirements you have to fill here? Name of the company, registered address of the company, objects of the company, matters which are necessary for furtherance of the objects specified in clause 3AR. The liability of members is limited, as we all know, in OPC. Share capital of the company has to be specified here. Subscriber details has to be filled here. Name, DIN, number of shares the subscriber has, and DSC. It is to be digitally signed here. Subscriber details signed before me, that is, the witness can be a company secretary, chartered accountant or cost accountant. His name is to be mentioned here, address, membership number, DSC. Table B, if the company is limited by guarantee and not having share capital, then table B has to be filled. Same particulars are there in table B also. You can see. Table C, if the company is limited by guarantee and having a share capital. Table D, if the company is unlimited company and not having share capital. You can see same particulars are to be filled in all the tables. It depends on the company which table you have to choose. Subscriber details, witness details, digitally signature. Table E, you can see. Table E, if the company is unlimited company and having share capital. This is all about this form. We have seen the particulars of form INC 33 SPICE MOA, and now form INC 34 SPICE AOA. These are the tables which have to be chosen in form INC 34. Table F, if the company is limited by shares. Table G, the company is limited by guarantee and having a share capital. Table I, unlimited company and having a share capital. Table H, company limited by guarantee and not having a share capital. Table J, unlimited company and not having share capital. Now let us see how this form looked like. Now you can see form INC 34 SPICE AOA. You have to fill the SRN of INC1 here and then click on the pre-fill button. Then you have to select the table F if the company is limited by shares. Then you have to fill these particulars related to the shares, share capital, variation of rights, line, calls on shares, transfer of shares, transmission of shares, forfeiture of shares. All the details relating to share capital has to be filled here. Alteration of capital, capitalization of profits, buyback of shares, journal meetings, proceedings of journal meetings, adjournment of meeting, voting rights, proxy, board of directors, proceedings of the board, chief executive officer, manager, company secretary or chief financial officer, the seal, dividends and reserve. All these details are to be filled here. Accounts, winding up, indemnity. Table G, when the company is limited by guarantee and having a share capital. Table I, when the company is unlimited and having a share capital. You can see the subscriber details are to be filled here. Name, DIN, place and digital signature, DSC. Sign before me, that is the signature of the witness, company secretary, CA or CMA. Anyone can be a witness, and the digital signature has to be needed. Table H, when the company is limited by guarantee and not having share capital. Similar fields are there also. You can see. Table J, if the company is unlimited company and not having share capital. So you have to choose the table which is suitable for your company and then fill the particulars in that table only. Now the final step is filing of form INC 32 SPICE and INC 22 with the MCA portal. Form number INC 32 SPICE is an application for registration of a company. The company can now apply for the TAN and PAN in the form INC 32 SPICE. Form INC 3, that is nominee consent form, shall be attached with form INC 32 SPICE. Form INC 22 shall be filed for verification of registered office within a period of 30 days for its incorporation in such manner as may be prescribed. Notice of every change of the situation of the registered office after the date of incorporation of the company shall be given to the registrar within 15 days of change, who shall record the same. After the registration of the company, the Centralized Registration Authority (CRC) will issue the certificate of incorporation in the name of the company. Now you can see on the screen Form INC 32 SPICE for incorporating company electronically. What you have to mention here, state the type of company, class of company, category of company. All these has to be filled here. Companies having share capital, not having share capital, you have to click here. If not having share capital, if having share capital, you have to click here. Main division of the industrial activity of company, Correspondence address of the company, that is the address of the registered office of the company, is to be filled here. Particulars of the proposed or approved name. If you have filed form INC1, then your name must be approved by the registrar of companies, then you have to click here. Particulars of payment of stamp duty. You can see these are the fields. Additional information for applying PAN and TAN. The company can apply for the permanent account number and tax deduction account number in the form itself, form INC 32. Additional information for employer registration under Employee State Insurance Corporation. These are the attachments which have to be attached in this form. Affidavit and declaration by first subscriber and director. Proof of office address, conveyance, lease deed, rent agreement along with rent receipts. Copy of utility bills not older than 2 months. These are to be attached in this form INC 32. Optional attachment, if any, you can attach here. It is to be digitally signed by the director. Digitally signed by the chartered accountant, company secretary or cost accountant or advocate. This is all about this form, and this is the final form for the incorporation of OPC. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe.